What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Flow with Joe, where we get into conversations and just let it flow like water. Be like Bruce Lee, let it flow like water. He's one of my favorite philosophers, by the way. And I am your host, Joe. I was nervous, but that was awesome. So, today's episode, we are going to talk about being self aware of ourselves. That's not necessarily the topic for today, but that's who I am, your number one awareness buddy. So, and I'm a cheese ball, so y'all will get used to that. And I'm nervous. This is my first episode. And I'm excited though, because this podcast has been a year in the making, probably 2 years actually. And why has has it taken me so long? Because I was limiting myself by my own limitations. And that is our topic for today. Have you ever had something that you wanted to do, but you talked yourself right on up out of it? It could be a career change, a life choice, a dream, or even just a carnival ride. I've done that too. And that's going to bring me into my first story. So, one quote that I really like is by Napoleon Hill. And he says, it struck a nerve with me when I was reading his book, Think and Grow Rich. You know, the cliche book, everybody's saying you need to read it. It's how you're gonna get rich. You know, there's a lot of great things in it, but it's not just like a get rich book, but there's a lot of great philosophy in there. So, but he says your only limitation is the one that you set up within your own self. Now, if that resonates with you, drop something in the comments or in a review of this episode, because I would like to know if I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one, but so my family and I have two children and I'm married. I have an 8.5-year-old beautiful little girl and a 2-year-old awesome little son. Little bucket of joy he is. just such a happy baby. But so I'm very blessed with that. Very blessed with that. And we were on a trip. I think it was, where were we at? Anyways, it was at a beach somewhere here in Texas. And I that the name of the city, Galveston, that's where we were. And so they have this Pleasure Pier there at Galveston. And it was during the week. They had a homeschool day at Pleasure Pier, and I homeschool as well. So we went to Pleasure Pier. Now, at Pleasure Pier, they have this 200-foot swing, and it goes all the way around, and it's on the pier. So when you're up in the air, you're like flying above the ocean, right? And Galveston is known for shark attacks. And we all know about carnival equipment, right? Carnival equipment cannot be trusted. And so, as we're on Pleasure Pier, my daughter sees this. She is an adrenaline junkie. She loves adventure. I love it. And so she's like, "Oh man, I want to go on that ride, mom. We got to go on that ride before we leave." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I'm looking at my husband like, "It's real high." And at the same time, for several hours that day, they were working on the machine so no one could ride. But to the end of the day there, it was open. So I had all these fears start sitting in because, an 8-year-old is not going to forget. An 8-year-old is not going to forget. So she's like, Mom, it's open. Let's go. Like, okay. So when I get anxiety, I start sweating and my body starts to shake a little bit. So we're in line and it's finally our turn to get on the swings. She's just so excited. And I'm like, man, I'm so nervous, but I can't let her see my fear because I don't want to project my fear onto her. So I count to five. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do this. I sat down, locked up my seat, and I am deep breathing the whole time. She's just excited. She's talking to me. I couldn't tell you right now what she was saying because I was zoned out just trying to make it, right? And the swing starts to go. And we are way up in the air. It's getting higher and higher. And I'm feeling this panic attack come on. And so I'm deep breathing my way through it. And my daughter's just like, wow, this is awesome. And I'm like, and I look down and I'm just like, this is beautiful. But I am still terrified at the same time, right? So the ride ends, and I finally tell her, like, oh my God, I was so scared. I was so nervous. But at the same time, I wasn't going to limit myself in that experience with her due to my fear, due to my anxiety. I wrote it out. And so she wants to do it again. So I got back in line and did it again. The second time, it wasn't anywhere near as terrifying as it was the first time. And the second time, I was still nervous, still did my count to five, still did some deep breathing. But when we got to the very top and we were 200 feet in the air, I enjoyed the view. I enjoyed the experience. And by the time we got off, I was so proud of myself. I was like, girl, you did that thing. I'm so proud of you. You did it scared. You did it afraid. You had the experience with your daughter. That's a memory that you'll always have. But also, I was just like, if something happened to my baby on this thing, she is not going down alone. So, I was prepared to, if anything happened on that ride, I was prepared to also for to be my last moment here on earth. That's probably why I was so scared the first time, right? Oh my goodness. But so a reason I believe we put a limit on ourselves is because that's where we're comfortable. It- It's comfortable to be limited, isn't it? It is. And so to get uncomfortable, we have to go beyond those limitations that we place on ourselves. I had to go beyond the limitation that I was giving myself of what's the word I want to say? A fear of judgment. I had fear of judgment releasing this podcast episode. Who wants to listen to me? Who who would enjoy hearing me speak? But it doesn't matter if one person enjoys hearing me speak. I still finally did it, and I'm going to continue to consistently do it. So I ask you all to join me here every Monday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So keep coming back. And one way that we can also get past these limitations that we place on ourselves, no matter what it is that you want to do. It may be something day to day, a day to day task that you want to get done. It may be a life choice that you want to make. a tough choice that you don't want to tell anybody about, but you know you have to make it for your own happiness, for your own joy within yourself. And one thing I say that you can do to get past that, tip number one is I use the Mel Robbins 5 second rule. Mel Robbins is one of my favorite personal development industry experts. And it's so cliche, but when you're getting ready to do something, just five, four, three, two, one, and do it. Do it. Just count down and do it. It's so easy. And it's so ridiculous. It may sound ridiculous, but for me, it's not ridiculous. It's like a necessity tool that I need to have in my toolbox for me to live my life the way that I want to live my life, which is happy, joy, adventurous, going up on a 200-foot swing, flying above the ocean. And another tip I would give is to do it afraid. Do it scared. I remember I'm a trained motivational speaker and I've only spoken virtually. And so I spoke at a community event about a controversial topic. So I don't really like too much controversy. So I was already nervous, but it needed to be said there. So I stood up and did it. Oh my gosh. I was exploding, having a panic attack on the inside. But I did the five, four, three, two, one. Let's do it. I was sweating profusely, just aspirating everywhere. I was, guys. I mean, but I did it and I did it afraid. And once I got done, I sat down. My daughter, my voice got to shaking while I was speaking. My daughter said, "Mom, were you crying?" It's like, "No, girl, I was just nervous. I was so scared to death to speak in front of these people." And she was like, "You did a great job. I'm so proud of you, Mom." And, after that, I felt so relieved. So, if you could add these two things into your toolbox and just motivate yourself, do that 5 second rule, and remember to just do it afraid. No matter if you're going panic attack mode like myself, you're just sweating everywhere, still do it. Don't rob yourself of the experience. Don't rob yourself of whatever the goal is you want to reach. Get there and do it. You'll be proud of yourself, for one. Number two, you'll have it done. No matter if it's good, it's bad, who cares? You're happy. You got to do what you wanted to do. Period. Point blank. Ew. And so to finish this episode, wow, look at the clock and I'm only 13 minutes in. I was planning for this episode to be about a good 30 minutes, but hey, sometimes you say what you say, you get it done, it's out there, and capiche. It's over with. So hopefully this podcast will resonate with someone and it'll also help someone because I am the self-awareness buddy. And so I want to finish with this text that I got. You know, um I'm a believer, and so you will hear me talk about my belief, my faith, and, and just God in these podcast episodes. Just flow with Joe, honey. Okay. So, but as I was writing out this episode, we're the neighbor. It's my awesome neighbor, Miss Faye. And this is what she says, not knowing anything. She was just giving me a text to start the day. And it says, Many times, our thinking is limited to the environment in which we were raised. We get comfortable with a limited vision, lack, and dysfunction. It's all we've seen. Can I tell you there's so much more? God has oceans of favor, oceans of grace, oceans of new opportunities. It's time to stretch and release your faith for the new things God has in your future. Start believing to rise to new levels, to become all you were created to be. Make today beautiful just as you are. Woo-hoo-hoo! Wasn't that good, y'all? That was good. That was good. Yes. So I just thought that was God working in favor, giving me the go for this episode today. Because I told her, I said, that is so funny that you just sent me that message when the title of my episode that I'm getting ready to release today is limited by our own limitations. So always remember that get out of the comfort zone, get out of your head, start to reframe those self-limiting beliefs and start to be conscious when you do have those self-limiting beliefs and overpower those thoughts by reframing the positive thoughts because you can do it. You are worth it. And we're going to get this ick together. Okay. I will see you all back here next Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you are listening over YouTube, you make sure you do all of that YouTube stuff, that like, share, subscribe. And if you are listening on audio, on all the audio platforms, please make sure to leave a sister a review. I would greatly appreciate it. And that's it. Until next Monday. Bye.